Beer is a perfect drink for all adults. In the early ages of English history, beer was more healthier to drink than water, because water was so contaminated with bad bacteria. People went to drink, which was alcohol, which is beer.
Everyone always wants a drink. When you're having a bad day in the office, everyone turns to a drink. If you're having a good time, you turn to a drink.
Especially working in London, such a busy lifestyle, that's the one thing you have to yourself is going out, having a drink, having a beer, you know.
It's just curiosity, it's just a challenge, isn't it, sometimes? Just to see how many different types you can have. In my teens, going in when I first got out drinking, and you didn't have a massive choice of beers, to be honest. It was a bit boring. It'd be lager or a few boring bitters, but it's so big now.
What do you think beer and economics have to do with each other?
Beer and economics, interesting one.
In the UK, people spend a reasonable amount of money socialising because that's what we do. So, of course, it makes economic sense to promote it and not lose it.
Well, that's quite a big industry. The beer industry is massive in this country, especially recent years. The real ale industry has took off as massive now, isn't it?
The beer industry is closely related to the farming industry, obviously the pub industry. It creates lots of employment for local people, particularly young people.
Well, I'm told beer is the last thing to go in a recession. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I was always told.
We're here at the Campaign for Real Ale Festival, and they talk a lot about the tax burden on beer in the UK and about pubs closing around the country. How do you feel about that?
Beer is something that people enjoy drinking as well. This is something that people like to drink after work, socialising. You shouldn't have to pay a tax for that. You shouldn't have to. You might as well get taxed for laughing or enjoying yourself.
The VAT they put on beer is absolutely disgusting. It costs £1.20 to make a pint of real ale. It costs £3.50 to sell it over the bar because the government take the rest.
The family pubs should be more promoted, should be sort of almost, I'm not saying, because we're drinkers, we should be subsidised by the government so we can have a beer, but there should be money put into it.
The smoking regulations that came in, that changed things completely really, and a number of perhaps more old-fashioned style of businesses have closed, but they've actually been replaced by more businesses that create other reasons to visit the pub. So it's all about food, perhaps it's about entertainment.
I mean, in my local village, there were 4 pubs when we moved there, now there are 2. So, yeah, I think it's something the government should probably take more of an active role in.
Pubs in villages and things tend to be the social heart of the village. So to keep that going, when you lose stuff like that, you can lose a sort of community and it can just break up and there's nowhere for people to gather. So anything that I think can keep that sort of side of things open, and if that happens to be the pub and it means slightly lower taxes, then I think that's quite a good thing actually.
Do you think the government should be subsidising pubs?
I'm not sure about subsidising pubs. That's obviously a little bit of there's the whole drinking and alcohol and supporting that. I'm not sure whether that's the best money the government could spend.
I went to a business trip to Ukraine once and they subsidised beer and cigarettes. Now cigarettes I'm not too mad about, but beer, absolutely.
It's not a necessity, is it? I don't know about government funding it, and I think that's a bit pushing it. Let's just get the streets clean first.
Economy, what does the word economy mean to me? Normally something I hear and read about in the news and I have no influence over as an individual.
It means mostly bearded men talking about dry topics.
Not much, really.
I earn my money each week. I drink a couple of beers. That's enough for me, you know. The economy is something a bit distant, I think, to a lot of people.
What do you think politicians and economists could do to make it more accessible?
I know you can go to the Clubcomwhip website and it sort of explains some things about the economy, but I don't think it's very open, is it, really?
Related to something that's relevant to them. If somebody can see something that's important to them, so that actually if the stock market falls or something, the price of beer is going to go up by 10%, you'd be like, oh, well, I can see how that relates and things like that. Whereas just talking about random figures and companies, I think people get a bit lost and disinterested.
Probably just engaging with people as you're doing, so we all have a clearer idea of where we all sort of what our part to play in it is.
Well, not all of us educated to a degree standard. Some of us are just working men, and we need to be explained in basic terms that you earn this, you pay this.
Just relating it back to practical, everyday life, I think would really help people.